Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru Podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanofsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path on a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up. Greetings, my friends, conversationalists, thrill seekers, career gurus, aspiring career gurus, everyone across the fruited plain. Welcome back. It is I, your career guru, Steve Yanofsky, coming to you yet again across the magical waves of the internet, bringing you yet another most thrilling and exciting podcast on our Career Guru podcast platform. Yeah. Today, I want to continue on our path of exploring the patriarchs, biblical patriarchs, that is, and their career challenges. Last time we spoke about Jacob and his career path, having escaped the potential murder by his twin brother from his house, traveling to find his bride upon the request of his mother, spending 14 years in college, and then being swindled by his father-in-law, and yet still rising to tremendous successes. And today, I'd like to explore the career path of one of his sons, his beloved son, Joseph. Very famous Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Yes, the very same Joseph. Very interesting and unique story for a career path. I wanted to touch base upon that a little bit and see what else we can finagle and talk about in this holiday season. What could we talk about? Or post-holiday season, whatever the case may be. Oh, heck, we have holidays all the time, so we might as well just celebrate everything. But today I wanted to talk to you about Joseph. You remember Joseph, don't you? One of the 12 sons of Jacob, who had an incredible success story. But it didn't start out so well, did it? Let me remind you that Joseph was a dreamer. He was a fine young man. He was tall, he was handsome, he was smart, bit of a tattletale, and he tattletaled on his brothers to his father, and then this entire story of Joseph starts with his dreams. I'm not going to necessarily talk about his dreams, but in his dreams, he was the master of them all, and they didn't particularly care for that. So his professional life began as a dream. Now, you remember all of the biblical patriarchs were shepherds. And in this particular case, Jacob's sons were also shepherds. So one day, Jacob sent his sons to tend to their flocks, and they went off, and Joseph stayed behind. He didn't go with his brothers. He spoke with his dad, and his dad says, listen, they've been gone for a while. Why don't you go check on them? And so, like a good son who honored his father and mother, he decided to, go look for his brothers. He had that vision of being the master of them all. And his brothers didn't take too kindly with that. He had a vision of leadership, a sense that his life had a real, meaningful purpose. What can we learn from that? I mean, dreams are good. Aspirations are great. Hold on to your vision. Even when your current circumstances seem far from it, vision helps you build a compass, a career compass during uncertainty, difficulty, all sorts of trials and tribulations. Hold on to your dreams. Make sure they're attainable. I mean, we can all, growing up, I wished I were an astronaut, but that didn't pan out. But I had other more earthly dreams, and they worked out relatively okay. So he finds his brothers, and whatever the case they were, how they behaved, not very brotherly, not very righteously, so it seems, and they sold him into slavery. They threw him into a pit. I mean, we can talk about this whole
thrown into the pit business, with snakes and scorpions. And it also says, and it had no water. Um, there are interesting explanations about all of that, but about that another time, perhaps. So many of us experience very similar career setbacks. I know I have. Many times I've been thrown into a pit, but amazingly enough, by holding on to my beliefs, by holding on to my dreams, I was able to overcome this adversity. I had all sorts of people in my illustrious career who come across my path, whether they were coworkers, managers, and various circumstances beyond my control that really threw me into a pit. And sometimes I felt down and downcast, but not for too long. Remember, I keep pointing out to you that it's basically a default position for any human being to be beat down, but it takes no effort to be beat down. It takes a lot of effort to be upbeat. Always be upbeat. Look towards your vision. Look towards your goals. Look to the bright side. So that's our takeaway. The pit is temporary. Your values remain even when others fail to see it. You just have to live up to your vision and to your understanding of who you are. After he was extricated from the pit and was sold into slavery, he was sold into Potiphar's house. And I do encourage you to check out these biblical stories and really, read up on them. They're a lot of fun. They are extraordinary. What an exposition, what an exploration into the human psyche and perseverance. You really got to look into that. This is not Sunday school, but I assume everyone has heard of Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Okay, look it up. It's great. The story is fantastic. So he ends up in Potiphar's house, um, and he is. And what is that place exactly? Well, Potiphar was not an honest man. He was not an honest broker, and he had a really, really terrible wife. Okay, who wanted Joseph badly. He was a pretty boy. He was a very attractive young man, but he had his scruples. He was wrongfully accused and was sent to prison. Yeah, amazing. From the pit to the chief of a household to wrongful accusations uh, of impropriety, immorality, which were thrust against him by an unscrupulous individual. And he ends up in prison, amazingly enough. So he goes to a household, head of the household, where he thrives and runs an entire house of this man, a very well-to-do fella, and the master of that prison, as a matter of fact, where he gets thrown into. But his integrity and his perseverance and his faith lead him to stave off capital punishment and ends up in a prison, without any parole. And he ends up with two interesting cellmates. And even there, without any chance of parole, and we're talking about not modern day prisons where appeals are possible and so on and so forth. We're talking about ancient Egypt. These are prisons. So Joseph ends up in prison and still does not allow himself to be beat down. He rises to the challenge and ends up being the assistant to the head of the prison. And the only thing that separated him from the head of the prison is the fact that he lived in the prison. Otherwise, he ran all the affairs in the prison. What can we take away from this? Unfair things happen all the time, but they can also shape your resilience and refine your skills. We talked about that, how resistance to your success actually builds your success muscle. Look back on some of our podcasts and you will see that we have talked about this. You know what? Just keep showing up, keep improving, and everything is going to be okay. What happens in the prison? Joseph is thriving in the prison, amazingly enough. And he has these two cellmates, and both have dreams. And he interprets these dreams. He didn't wait for a perfect job title to do this. He interpreted dreams for those around him. These small acts open the doors for him. That's what happened. And at one point in time, he was vindicated and brought out based on his dreams still. Even in the darkest places, our dreams keep us afloat. They keep us spiritually and physically alive. You can find success in your challenges. You can persevere and you can succeed. You never know who's watching or what opportunity will follow. You really don't. So always do your best, even when the times are the darkest. So from the prison, he ends up in the Pharaoh's palace. OMG. How do you go from one to the other? Interesting. He did not have a prisoner's mentality. He was able to transition from prison to Pharaoh's palace. Think about that for a moment. Amazing. You're standing right there. One moment you're a prisoner, next moment you're standing at the throne of the most powerful man of the time. Egypt was the lone superpower at the time. It really did happen. Lone superpower, documentable. And you're standing in front of the leader of this nation. There was no Senate. There were no people of real power except the Pharaoh. And there's Joseph. His promotion, if you want to call it, that came suddenly. From prisoner to viceroy, assistant king is basically what it means in a single day. But it only happened because he had been prepared all along to receive this gift. Inside the prison, he felt as if he were greater than his circumstances. That's how he was able to survive next to the Pharaoh. Promotions, my friends, often appear sudden. Opportunities show up from out of nowhere. But they're built on years of unseen preparations by you. Be prepared is the takeaway here. Be prepared. Be ready to go. If you're applying yourself, if you're doing the best you can, even in the darkest, most dismal places, someone will notice. Someone is always watching. You will be delivered to a better place. What happened after? He interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. He was promoted to the assistant king. The only difference between him and Pharaoh was the Pharaoh's ring, his stamp. Otherwise, Joseph took care of everything. He saved nations during famine. Not just people of Egypt, but people of surrounding lands who came to receive sustenance from Egypt, and Egypt prospered under Joseph. His career took off like crazy. What's the takeaway here? You never know what your highest level of career growth will be, but it is always purpose-driven. It's always geared towards your leadership abilities. And you will see that your true success will be measured by the impact that you make, no matter what the circumstances. What can we learn from all of this? Granted, this is a very simplistic, very short, very concise conversation about Joseph. There's just so much to know. There's so much to learn. I sincerely hope you can pick up your Sunday school notebooks and see what you could find in there. If not, hey, there's always Mr. Google. All right, Google Joseph and his story. Check into it. It's a great read. It's a great read, I tell you. So what's our takeaway from all of this? Hey, setbacks are not the end. Chances are they're just the beginning. Preparation is never, ever wasted. Be prepared. Character is key. It's your greatest advantage. It is your bond. Your word is your bond. Stick to your word. And remember this, your destiny is bigger than your challenges. If you believe that, you will succeed. Your current job is not your final chapter. It's not. Like Joseph, you are being shaped, positioned, and prepared for something greater. Remember that. Feel it. Every day, the opportunity is knocking for you. It's knocking for me. It's knocking for all of you. Just be there to open the door. Like Joseph, have the mindset of a winner no matter where you are. Whether you are on death row with 2 prisoners, whether you are running the prison or something else, whether you are being falsely accused, whether you're being betrayed by people closest to you, sometimes it happens. It happens. Many different things happen. Stay positive. Keep your eye on the prize. Stay focused on your dreams. Be good to yourself, be good to others, be charitable, and you will succeed, just like the patriarchs. And on that note, I want to wish you a farewell. God bless you all. Career Guru signing off till our next exciting podcast. Keep those little emails coming, friends. I want to hear your ideas. Thank you all. Talk soon.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spend time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number, 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and/or information about our podcast, email me at thecareerguru@bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, the Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. # The New Radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanofsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. # Let's Career Up.